Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 13 of Multiblock Madness, where we have a danger noodle doing its thing. It's actually continuing to grow at the very moment because I'm releasing additional flux by using our Essential Smeltery some more. So this chunk here is 230-ish flux in it. It spreads to adjacent chunks, so we're nearing the point where I expect danger noodles to start forming in some of these adjacent chunks as well. Like 129 flux is quite a bit. Flux is bad. We'll have to do something about her eventually. So, as we continue to ignore the thing that could turn our entire base into flux goo, let's go back to finishing our arc furnace. The structure itself is done, we just need the electrodes, and the electrodes are, they're something, alright. For everything that goes into this, all that's left though is the bitumen. So this is done by distilling crude oil, and all we have to do is build a distillery because we've already started pumping the oil. So I really hope the distillation tower, yeah, it doesn't, dang it. The distillation tower is huge. Is there a way to show it? No, I need the projector to do so. I was really hoping it'd have a capsule, but no such luck. So let's go find the quest for it. I imagine it'll list out the blocks we need. Yeah, it's 60. I mean, it's not that much in terms of like, well, I guess it is 100 some blocks. It's just that there's 15-ish levels to it, and it's a real pain in the butt to build by hand. Oh, also, thanks for telling me in the comments, this is like a week old, but these thermoelectric generators apparently take energy based on however many numbers of sides you can have opposite with heat sources. So by doing 2 pairs of sides, you can get twice the energy output. In theory, if you're particularly clever, you can get like the top and bottom side as well, but then you need to fan and face out the energy or something. And that is simply just not worth it. Alright, so anyways, I'm going to gather up this list of ingredients, hopefully, and make begin the process of making the distillation tower. Thankfully, even without the capsule, we can still get a multi-block preview. So if we go to the, I assume it's under oil processing, distillation tower, this is what it looks like. I wasn't kidding when I said it's like 17 slices tall. We craft that with it's only 16 slices tall, my bad. I'm sorry I lied to you like that. Anyways, and then we can right click to place the preview. Some way to make it scroll up, maybe not. Anyways, I want the input facing that side. So which side is the input on? So I want you to show me the multi-block. Alright, so the input is on the side with the or heavy engineering blocks, right? Am I seeing that right? Turn into that full form, please. This is impossible to use. But I assume that's the input, or is that the output? No, that's the, okay, so it's clockwise from the 4. It's a side between the 4 heavy engineering blocks and the redstone engineering block. Got it. So, hey, this is the right way. So if we place you, say, right, make sure you fit in one chunk. I want you right. Is that going to work? I don't know why I'm being so incredibly picky. Let's build it here. All built, reaches all the way up to the sky. So let's form it. Assume we right click one of these blocks around here. Only so many possible things to click. There we go. And voila, one distillation tower. Oh no, I had it backwards. This was the input. I'm far too lazy to tear it down. What we will instead do is run the cable like this. Was that really? Oh, I saw this dot, I think, and I thought that signified the orange for this. Oh, too late now. So I think this is fluid in. This is... Wait. This is fluid out. This is item out. Pretty sure. It's really only the item I care about for now. Maybe at some point we'll like use the fluid for something, but nah. Alright, so extract crude oil from here, pump it into the distillation tower, and then plug in the distillation tower. Should be good to go. Bam. Alright, this now starts processing. So it takes crude oil and turns it into gasoline, diesel, and lubricant, and apparently uses a boatload of energy in the process. That's all right. It's exceptionally fast, so it doesn't have to run at full uptime, but it produces bitumen in the as a byproduct. This is used to make the electrodes at what, like 8 each, so this is tons of bitumen. Has some other uses, I guess. Technically, it makes tar. Do we need tar for anything? Probably not. I think we can make tar a different way too, right? I guess that's made from oil in any event. I don't know. We don't need that much anyways, so once this fills up, I'm just going to let it stop running when its internal buffer fills up. And let's go ahead and make those electrodes now. So what do I need? 8 bitumen, 2 hot graphite, and a slate each. I've already melted down the aspects we need, so let's get crafted. And it altar should stay stable. Perfect. Man, time in a bottle makes the infusion altar so much easier to use. Number 2 is done, and number 3. Apparently I've run out of gear, and now this altar is going to start becoming progressively less stable. So the stability only goes up while you're inserting aspects. While you're not inserting aspects, this value basically goes away, I think, and the loss kicks in, and eventually it'll become not stable. But I'm not planning on waiting that long. We'll go get some more of that aspect. I think gear comes from, double check, but I think that was like fence gates and similar. I could just use Avis seeds for all of this stuff, but that would require setting up a farm, and I'm way too lazy to build a farm right now. So instead, we'll just build a whole bunch of fence gates, right? These have, 5 points of gear per. 9 times 5, that's enough. This recipe actually might just be stable enough that it's incapable of suffering from instability effects. It's just that in fact, let's check what exactly it says. It's minor stability, so maybe even when we're not inserting aspects, it's just a stable infusion. We're allowed to mess this one up. Alright. So anyways, insert the rest of the stuff, give me my 3 electrodes. I think I would rather have electrodes be super expensive and difficult to make like this, but then have infinite durability, as opposed to the normal way where they have finite durability but are relatively easy to make, because this is do it once, forget it. We never have to put new electrodes into this arc furnace again. Alright, so oh boy, a bucket of crude oil. Now we can make refined iron. This is made in here by iron and crushed slate or limestone, but I don't have limestone. Let's make a, wait, there's quark limestone? Is this world gen? It does. And then we can crush it just as if it were, yeah, as if it were between land slime. So let's see if I have any, if I can find some. Lucky me, I had exactly 1 piece. Oh, this is even chisel limestone. Is this world gen? Beneath Twilight Force. Yes, it does. Quite a bit in the overworld. So I think we can find this, right? Yeah. It just saves a little bit on the number of slates we have to crush down. So set a block scanner to that. Do this, and I imagine it lights up everywhere. Okay, yeah. One of those effectively filler blocks that I, ignore. Oh, look, it's gone right there. Okay, scanner, you can go away now. You're not helping anymore. So just chuck the, oopsies, that's not the chest. Chuck the limestone and some imbued slates into here to crush down. The higher tier slate, remember, the more crushed slates you get from crushing it. So we get 8 per imbued slate, and then as we get access to the higher tier, demonic slate, probably 16, and yeah, 32 for ethereal slate. Alright, so time to bottle a little bit. I'm gonna bottle a little bit more. And look at all that limestone flux. The nice thing about the arc furnace is that it can also just be an ore processor. So if you put ores in here, it is a native ore doubler. Now it does use 512 RF a tick to do so, so it uses a lot of energy. But as you see there, each iron ore gets processed into 2. We get some slag in the process. I guess we'll keep it. But then we can combine that with all of these things, and these get inserted into these slots. So 2 stacks each, and then take some of the iron. I'm just gonna leave this here to process for a second. Next thing, while this processing, let's work on improving our energy production. So we've already built the squeezer and the fermenter. All we have to do is take these and actually process them. I was originally going to build the diesel generator or steam turbine, but seeing as we have refined iron now, why don't we just go straight to the advanced generators? So see what exactly this takes. We need a gas turbine controller. It's easy. Redstone alloy. We can make this in the arc furnace, right? At least the redstone alloy ingots. Yep. The list of components we need is a little bit long. The most difficult thing for now is going to be the one control circuit that goes into the controller. So this requires it's made from an advanced circuit, or 4 advanced circuits, which we're going down a bit of a rabbit hole here. This recipe, not that bad, but we need a basic electric circuit. Also, yeah, it's, it takes a refined iron plate, whatever. But then we have to make the circuit board, which requires vacuum tubes and insulating glass, and thankfully that's the end of the rabbit hole. But anyways, we're gonna need a bunch of materials. I'm gonna do some crafting off camera because this is like 7 tiers of microcrafting. It's just occurred to me that now that I've hit refined iron, we get the tier 4 token, so we can get a quest reward. Let's look at our options. All the presses from Applied Energistics, no big deal, those are easy to get. Some very basic ores, easy to do. This is nice because it gives us some meat stroganoff. It means we don't have to go do the maze, so I'm thinking that's good. These we are literally in the process of crafting circuits, and 2 is not enough to do anything with. And this is a perfect crystal and some runes, but we already have the runes and we already have like 30 perfect crystals. So given this, I think we will take the exploration one so that we don't have to go exploring, because I'm just sick and tired of Twilight Forest. Alright, so we'll eat that at some point, and I'm sure we'll probably still have to go do something in the Twilight Forest dimension. But for now, we can continue to pretend it doesn't exist. All right, so anyways, I wonder, is there a quest here that leads into generators? No. Okay, we'll have to, I guess it's this one. Anyways, yeah, I've gotten up to the point of making the basic circuits now. I think I can grab this, and is that not how we make basic circuits? Find iron plate, redstone, insulated circuit board. Insulated? Oh, I have the wrong blueprint. I think I saw that the blueprint for circuits is a custom one. I didn't know you can make custom blueprints, but I guess just the MBT data on the item. So there we go. I should make actually a second table so I don't have to share the blueprint slot, but yep, 10 electric circuits, and then we'll upgrade them to advanced. What is that? Redstone, glowstone, and lapis. Glowstone and lapis. Circuit this. That. Perfect. More redstone. And let's leave 2 of them as basic circuits. Maybe they'll be more useful that way. 1 gas turbine controller. That was the hardest part. Then we need a fluid intake. This is where we put the fuel. A forward energy emitter. This is where the energy comes out. Oh, skipped a thing. What do we need here? Just electrical steel? That's not bad. I think we can make this quite easily in the arc furnace. Wait, we need electrical steel to make electrical steel. Or, nope, steel and silicon. Actually, we have a lot of adaptive, right? We have some adaptive. Made some electrical steel plates so that we can make the emitter. This is what outputs the energy. All that's left now is to make some type of turbine. So initially I was going to make the Manulin one, but I forgot that Manulin is impossible to make in this pack. We'll have to do something else. The good news is we can upgrade these turbines quite easily. So all you have to do is click one of these upgrade kits, which are trivially easy to make, to upgrade it, and then you get the old turbine back, and turbines can be recycled for 100% of their costs. I believe each blade here is 10 10 ingots to make the 8 blades plus an ingot to make the center, and then you can recycle them 100%. So they're fully reusable. We just have to effectively make the highest producing one for now, which, given our options, we can't do manulin. What is super alloy? Probably can't do that based on, I already checked, we can't do HSLA, so probably steel is the best we can do. At 11 ingots of steel per, that's not bad. How much steel do I have? Let's make the steel seed maybe. So okay, I have the tier 5 seed. It's actually really quick, take a detour. Turn 4 of these into the void metal seed so that I can make a steel seed as well and just not run out of materials, or not run out of crafting seed. The void metal seed just makes the process of making void metal durable. Without it, it's super grindy and obnoxious. You have to keep closing flux rifts or build. I think there's a thing in one of the add-ons that does make it slightly easier. It can siphon. There is a siphon in the base Bombcraft that will slowly siphon from void rifts and give you seeds, but it also closes the rift, so you have to like manually reopen new rifts. It's a real pain in the butt to do, is my point. There's an add-on, one of the Thumbcraft add-ons makes it slightly easier, but it's still not what I would consider easy. Anyways, I want to harvest some of this because I want, I think 3 ingots is enough to upgrade my pickaxe to tier 5 as well. Turns out we can't directly upgrade our pickaxe. We can only make the void one. There is no there is a void material in Tinkers, but the void material in Tinkers is actually Addiction's void. So oh well, we can just make a pickaxe like this. It only has 150 durability. I think we can upgrade it, right? There's an enchanted version, but that requires a primordial pearl. We will deal with this in a bit. Oh, I was told that steel seeds were tier 3, but turns out they're tier 4, which means that is my last crafting seed. I believe I have no ability to make mystical agriculture seeds for quite a while, but that's okay. We already have, I mean, the only other important seed I think that we need is Terra Steel, and we already have Terra Steel seeds that I looted from farms. So anyways, now that I have this seed, I'm kind of thinking, is it actually faster to grow the seed with only, one non-automated plant, even if I do level it to 10-10-10, or is it faster to just make steel the old-fashioned way? And I'm thinking it's actually just faster to make steel in the high oven because we can be extremely quick with a time in a bottle. So it's a mix of what, iron? I'm out of iron ore. You can use ingots. Iron plus sand. I'm out of sand. Geez, I'm out of everything. A 7 tall high oven is actually kind of perfect for this because if we melt blocks, that means that one set of blocks, 7 blocks, uses just about exactly 1 stack of that sand. So we can just refill those slots, make another 7 blocks, do it again. And then I guess the downside becomes this thing is too slow at casting. Dang it. Smart output. Upgrading the slot upgrade, though, gives it more slots, and then we can just time to bottle it. Technically, it still maxes out sometimes, but it's good enough. Alright, so this will bulk craft steel, or it won't. I made a bunch of iron because I ran out of some. Whatever. We should automate our the mystical agriculture farm at some point, huh? Later. This is, what, like 4 stacks of steel? That's enough to make a few steel rotors. So each one makes, what's it, like 600? Let's start with 10 then, for 6,000 RF a tick. One last component, and that'll be the fuel air mixer. This just increases our fuel efficiency. So it's 135% fuel efficiency. Woohoo. To make the fuel, I'm going to use the biofuel setup that we built like forever ago and only half set up. How exactly does this thing work? I think it's input the 2 sides, and then output the middle, if memory serves me right. Oh, this is the right way. And form. No, this is very much backward. Dang it. All right, tear it all down. Let's try that again. All right, so this thing should be filling with ethanol and plant oil, which comes from our fermenter and squeezer. And as soon as we give it power, Where does power go? That's not too ugly wiring, right? It should start making biodiesel. All right. So I don't know exactly how efficient biodiesel is as a fuel, but we make it for free. So I guess we'll just put our generators right here. I saw that the Quaisier rewards was with another steel turbine. So in all, we have 11. The form of the thing can be literally however you like. So we're just going to put the fluid valve near there. We probably don't need much of a fluid tank as a buffer, although if we want, we can add one here in between. That's why I'm intentionally leaving just enough room to that it probably won't connect until it becomes until it forms a multi-block. And that's okay. So a controller, fuel air mixer, 11 turbines, and I guess we'll put the energy output in this corner. All right, so this thing now makes energy. It automatically throttles itself depending on whether, like, if the energy isn't being used, it turns itself off. So are you going to tell me exactly how efficient you are? No, you're not. What if I plug you in? So when it's plugged in, we see it produces, well, it only produces enough energy to meet demand. But I guess it's telling me that at peak production, oh, I probably could have read this without plugging it in. At peak production, it uses 6.5 millibucks per tick to make 6,000 RF per tick. So basically each millibucket produces 1,000 RF, just about anyways, which comes out to 1 million RF per bucket, which is very good for biofuel. I believe if we burnt or biodiesel, I believe if we burnt this in a combustion dynamo, we get, yeah, like half of that. So, quite good. Anyways, let's put some load on the energy network by just processing some ore. So this puts 5,000 plus almost 6,000 RF a tick load on here. And I think we either just barely meet demand or just barely fall short of demand. But yeah, we now make enough energy to basically run the arc furnace. Seeing that the arc furnace here is all the slots are kept up with each other. There's not a processing slot falling behind, means that I think we're just barely keeping up with demand between the arc furnace and the thermoelectrics. Cool. So that takes care of the immediate power demands, and it's very, very easy to scale it out. Let's see what else we're at here then. I wanted earlier to actually upgrade our altar, our astral sorcery altar, to the next tier one. Right now we have a starlight crafting altar. If we get it up to a celestial altar, we can boost our rituals. And most importantly, we can boost our creative flight ritual, which is over here, right? To make it easily cover the entire, base. Also, we caught it just about in time. One of these taint tentacles spawn. When these spawn, you definitely want to kill them, because if you don't, they turn your base purple. We've lost a couple, functional blocks to it, but generally speaking, if you get it pretty quick, any block that becomes fibrous taint is beyond saving. All you can do is put it out of its misery. But if you catch it reasonably early, which we kind of did, we only, had a couple. We only lost some blocks. Anyways, let me clean this up real quick. Painted rock, I think when you harvest it, has a chance to drop something useful as well. No, just kidding, I lied. It's this porous rock that sometimes drops useful things, but it has like every item in the world on its loot table, so I'm not too hopeful to get anything out of it. I believe anyways. Maybe not, I don't know. I'm actually quite surprised that taint tentacles spawned all the way out here as opposed to closer to where our rift was. I think what happened was just enough taint or flux, whatever, migrated out here to corrupt this chunk enough to spawn a very tiny flux rift, which closed almost immediately. But when the flux rifts closed, that's what spawns those tentacles. Anyways, a little lucky we caught it early, but a little unlucky it spawned so far away. So back to what I was talking about. Let's upgrade our altar to the celestial altar. That takes the energetic silver here, right? Was what we were waiting for the arc furnace for. But now that we have that, we can make it. And there's one other thing here, the focal lens, that requires a little bit of embers progression. To do the embers bit to make the lens, we have to do this alchemy thing. So we need 4 lenses, which means I need materials for 5. We need a exchange tablet, 1 beam cannon aimed at the tablet, supply ember to your beam cannon, and then onto the exchange tablet you put your materials. If you're going to craft X copies of something, but you haven't crafted it once before, make sure you have materials for X+1 instances of it. So anyways, to put the inputs on it, you literally just click on the various sides of the tablet. Then you need, depending on the recipe, a couple of these alchemy pedestals topped with the appropriate aspectus. So for this one, I need copper and silver. That's what these two are topped with. And we need to put ash in here equal to the minimum number here. So 8 ash in copper, 32 in silver. Do that, 8 in there, 32 in there. And then we fire it. And it blasts this with all the ember and the beam cannon. If you stand in the way, it hurts a lot. I assume time to bottling that helps. Hey, yes it does. And when we're done, we get left with this alchemical waste. That tells us how far off we were on the craft. So we were told that we are 8 and 14 off. So, or what was that, 5 and 14? 5 and 14, sorry. So we have 13, right? 8 plus 5 is 13 copper, and 32 plus 14 is 46 silver. So 13, 40, short-term memory loss. 13 copper, let's do it one at a time. Too many numbers to keep in my head at a time. 14 plus 32 is 46. 46 silver. And I like to write this down. This will change between worlds, but within one world, it'll always be the same, so. 46 and the other number 13. So now when we do it with the right number of ash in each of these, blast it again, get up. The time it takes is based on how long it takes to absorb the ash there. And there we go, 1 focal lens, and each time we do it, it uses up 1 set of ingredients in there. So anyways, we need 4 of these total, and I think forever, so I'm just gonna make, well, 4. And that is the last ingredient that goes into our Starlight Crafting Altar upgrade. Unfortunately, it's raining, and rain reduces the amount of starlight we get. So let's take a nap, and then I should get rid of the rain. That should make it nighttime again. So we probably still have to wait a couple hours, basically until the dead of night, for this to have enough starlight. Is this linked? Yeah, that is. To do the craft, but perhaps in the meantime I'll go get a capsule for the next tier altar. It is slightly larger than this, I think, so we have to move our altar a little bit because we can't expand this way any further, kind of run into other things we built. But I think if I just move it over like 2 or 3 blocks, we can make everything fit just barely. This is looking problematic. First of all, why is the moon blood red? There's still like blood moons, are there? But anyways, it doesn't look like we're gonna get enough starlight. Come on, game. At night to do this craft, which is a little awkward because I don't know how I'm gonna get the rest of this starlight bar. We can't make floating crystals yet, right? Because these require, these require celestial altars to make. So how do I get a significant chunk more starlight? I'm already building in a star field. Maybe we can kidnap a let's try kidnapping one of the floating crystals from an altar. I don't know if they work when kidnapped, but we'll try it. Let's try to steal this crystal by bagging it. I forgot I set this here. I flew all the way here. And then we can release it by just doing that, and then link it to our altar with our linking tool, and hopefully, let's see, that's not how you link it. Shift right click, there we go. Hey look, we get more starlight. If I unlink this, that goes away, right? No, I guess I just had to wait until it was past midnight and the red went away. Or maybe he's picking up the thing doesn't ruin the link. I'm just curious. I want to undo your links. How do I do that? Shift right click, there we go. No, we still have plenty of starlight. I don't know. I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to craft. Where is my... Do the thing. So this will upgrade our altar, and then once it's upgraded, it'll also stop working because once it's upgraded, it's no longer it no longer has the right multi-block, so we can tear everything down. But come on, hum at me. Make the altar. There we go. So celestial altar, bars red, raw multi-block. Pick that up. I've already charged my pedestal, so we can just tear it all down and build it anew. Shift it over. I guess 1 block. I don't know. Either, yeah, because this used to be centered on the altar, right? I'm not going to bother moving that. But now if we drop our altar down, here now it's a good chance to test if we get more light. So we are a little bit short of the first block there, right? Put this here, link it. Oh wow, that does work when you kidnap them. Cool. Okay. But we're gonna get far better celestial or collector crystals later. I'm kind of curious. Do we get to know what are the stats on this crystal? Purity. So looking at the MBT data here, it is a purity 100, size 400. It's probably a 400, 400, 100 crystal. That's attuned to. Is it attuned to any? That is attuned to Amara. Huh. I didn't know that the ones that were World Gen were actually attuned to a constellation. All right. Well, good to know, I guess. Next up, let's craft ourselves a Starlight Infuser and set up its multi-block. I guess it'll just go right over here. This one's a little annoying because it floats, kind of, so I want to for it. That ought to do it. And that causes it to actually sit in the ground as opposed to on the ground. Anyways, let's put the finishing touches on it. Wow, this is rendering things be damned, I guess. Alright, an autonomous user can be used as, well, ideally you have 2 of these. In fact, can we make these now? Probably. Well, I'll make a second one later, but one of these puts your item onto the altar. One of them starts the infusion process by hitting it with the wand. So ideally you have 2, but for now the process still has to be reasonably manual because we also have to refill any of this starlight that gets consumed. Later there are easier ways to refill it. We could just put like one of the fluid placers facing each of these slots, but better solutions are coming. Anyways, does this thing buffers 1 item per slot? 1 by 1, use always on. It might use RF. Yeah, it does. But we're just not going to use it for now. Then we'll do our crafting manually. So I just needed this to make these gems. So if we time to bottle it, it goes quite quick. And then it doesn't start because it consumed one of our puddles. And the worst part is trying to find what puddle that was to fix. Alright, so once I get a few of these gems, I think it takes like 2 to make each crystal into a or to a collector crystal. But I'm gonna make maybe like a dozen of these right off the bat. Next, I'm gonna take some of our crystals here, so our perfect stat crystals, and attune 2 of them to Visio. We don't, strictly speaking, is that attuning? Yeah. We don't, strictly speaking, need to attune both of them yet, but it saves me a little bit of time down the road. So, do your thing. And then we'll use these to create, or to improve our flight ritual to make it affect the entire base. So for now, it has a 24 block radius. If I swap the crystal that's powering it, which was just a random crystal, right, to a perfect stat one, I'm pretty sure this has literally no effect. The Visio ritual is, that happened there. The range is independent of crystal quality. Although the fact that the fact that I was flying there was just because it takes it like a second to wear off. So I don't know where exactly the edge of the range used to be, but this feels like it's about the same. If it is increased, it's not by much. That feels like we're more than 24 blocks away, doesn't it? I don't know. The effect isn't huge. But anyways, I'm going to take the other one of these crystals and turn it into a collector. Take another perfect statted crystal to make some perfect statted lenses out of it. build one of these structures here as described in the book called the Enhanced Crystal Collector structure. Unfortunately, there's no capsule for it. Probably an oversight, but like I don't see any block here, with the exception of the crystal itself, obviously, that can't be placed in a capsule. But anyways, fill it with starlight. You'll know it's working when the particles start flowing. Then you'll want to link it. So you go to your ritual pedestal. And now when you look at your ritual pedestal, you should see lines coming out of it. There we go. This line floating out to here. So what you have to do is place a lens here and link it back to the pedestal. So if I grab some pillars, just as supports, these are decorative, but I mean floating blocks look weird, right? So where does it go? Here, they're always 2 blocks up, and if you place a lens there and then link the lens back to the ritual altar, you get another one. And they're kind of faint, especially during the day. Oh, there it is. But you go through this process a couple times. I think there are 5 in total. And when you're done with it, you should observe that a icon will appear around the ritual pedestal. That is the icon showing the constellation. So this here, if you look, you can kind of see it, a very faint visio. And that means that you have maximum starlight bouncing back into it, which should give us creative flight in a very large radius. Let's see how far out I can go before I lose. I'm thinking 200-300 blocks. Yeah, so crude. That's where my crude oil pump is. I guess, yeah, still don't have it back. So it's about this far, maybe 100-ish blocks. I guess I can just look up how far it is. The astral, sorcery, rituals, ritual effects, visio, 24 plus 5 times 16. 5 times 16 is what, 50 plus 24? Wait, 5? No, it's 50 plus 5 times 6, 30, 80. So 104 block radius for the flight. And I assume that's measured along both the x and the y axis. So if we're on the diagonal, we get, 1.4 times that. But yeah, that lets us fly at the very least throughout our whole base and a little bit beyond, which is super nifty. Cool. That's unfortunately all the time we have for today. So we'll be back next time to properly begin our Chapter 5 journey, work our way towards really nice things like the ME controller, for instance. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.